What's up everybody? Today in this video I wanted to go over 3 things that helped me make about $500,000 my very first year in short-term rental arbitrage. Okay, those 3 things are systems, human resources, and sales. Is it possible without any of these elements? Yes, it is, but also probably very unlikely, at least if you want to scale. So I first started this in 4th quarter of 2021. So 2022 was really my first full year in rental arbitrage, and it was quite a ride. I learned quite a few things, made a whole bunch of mistakes, burned through a whole bunch of rent, burned through a whole bunch of money, and learned a whole lot about people. So the first thing I wanted to touch on was systems. Okay, so systems is very important. Again, like these things are not necessary, one on its own, but as an entire, once you put these things together, they really start to have this synergistic effect on your business. So the first thing being systems, and what I mean by that is being able to put together processes in which help your business run more efficiently. So one example of this would be installing electronic keypads on your doors. Okay, so that way you don't have to either be handing a key off to your guest or hiding it somewhere that they now need to make a scavenger hunt for no reason. Okay, so electronic keypads would be one of them. A lot of what else makes systems is really just software. Okay, so I run a couple of different softwares that help me run my business, has made my life a whole lot easier, and it takes a lot of the pressure off of just having to remember things, even writing things down, even though, that's totally fine if you want to write things down. But when you start operating at scale, once you get past 5, 10, 15, 20 properties, it starts to get quite cumbersome if you're going to do things manually, right? So this is where systems really helps. Software, in particular, softwares that help you with your scheduling of cleaners, pricing, dynamic pricing software, and your PMS, which is your property management software. So a lot of different softwares out there. The ones that I use most for my business would definitely be the dynamic pricing. That helps me stay 90 to 93% occupied year round. And more importantly, it helps me identify demand on certain days, so that way I know how much to adjust the nightly rate as a percentage basis, either up or down based on the regular nightly rate and demand that correlates to that. The other thing would be scheduling, a scheduling software. So my scheduling software is directly tied with Airbnb and VRBO. They use like these API connections, so that way whenever you get a booking on your calendar, it will automatically populate on this particular day where they check out that there needs to be a clean. So that way you can assign your cleans out to your cleaners and know that when your guests do check out, your property should ideally be clean and ready for the next guest to check in, especially if it's a same day check-in, meaning the guests check out that day and the same day guests check in. So we operate on a time window of typically between 11 to 4. So they check out at 11 a.m. Next guest checks in at 4 p.m. This gives your cleaners about a 5-hour time window to turn the property over. The next part of these systems would be guest relations. The more you can automate this, the better, especially when it comes to guests checking in and guests checking out. Guests checking in, you want to send them an automated message. Here's the house instructions. This is the code to the electronic keypad. This is your Wi-Fi password and the Wi-Fi network you're going to connect to. Pretty much all the relevant information they will need for their stay. You can do a lot of this through the actual platform that you're on. Say Airbnb, for example, you can set these automated timed messages to go out at certain times of the day, like when they check in, send some type of checkout reminder to leave a 5-star review when they do check out. So they make it a little bit easier for your life. Now, when you hop into your property management softwares, they have a little bit more in terms of configurability, customizations that you can use as well. And that's going to kind of vary across the board depending on who you choose. There's a lot to choose from. So the next thing would be human resources. Now, when you're first starting out, 1, 2, 3 properties. You can do a lot of this yourself. You're gonna save some money too, especially if you're gonna be cleaning. Me personally, I hate cleaning. So I did it in the beginning anyway, just so I could learn what the process is like and therefore able to train cleaners on how the process looks. But you know, without human resources, then doing this at scale becomes a very difficult process, pretty much impossible. Once you get to multiple properties, you know, they say that if you want something done right, then do it yourself. Well, there's only so much that one person can do, right? You can't be in more than one place at one time. So, you know, if you have 10 checkouts, then try assigning one person to clean 10 properties within a 5-hour time window. It's not going to work out so well, right? So human resources is very important, and I'm going to kind of go into how you can efficiently do that when we hop into the next topic here. So human resources, not only talking about cleaners, but things like hiring a good handyman to, you know, troubleshoot issues at your property, whether it be HVAC, electrical, just little minor repairs here and there. Very valuable to have on your team. Cleaners, handyman, lawn care, things like this, especially at scale, is gonna really help your business not only stay in business, but be able to scale efficiently, because without these people, you won't be able to do it. And the last, but not least, the final thing that I wanted to cover is sales, right? Sales is a very, I would say probably one of the most important skills to learn if you're going to be running a business. Sales in a traditional sense, you know, it's not always about one side losing, the other side winning. That's not what sales is about, right? Sales is, at its heart, it's being able to communicate effectively with a potential customer, and it's an exchange of value, right? So whatever service, whatever product or service that I have, I would be exchanging with my potential customer for, you know, X amount of dollars. If those things don't match, then there's not going to be a transaction. Okay, so you're not going to get what you want, and the customer is not going to get what they want. So again, it's not always if you're able to close someone on a particular thing, it's not necessarily they lost. Yeah, you won, but they saw it as there was enough value in the exchange to make it happen, right? So it's very important to know not only influence, persuasion, but also knowing how to structure a deal in a manner that makes sense where everyone wins. If you're able to leverage this skill really in any business, sky is the limit, right? So, you know, not only when we're talking about tying into acquiring new properties, talking to new owners or landlords of the property that you're trying to acquire, this even comes into human resources, right? So how are you going to provide value in order to recruit people to be a part of your team? You have to be able to sell a dream, right? Be able to communicate effectively to make their time worth working for your company. So we did quite well in our first year. So I did close to about $500,000 my first full year in the rental arbitrage space. Did that primarily through the use of acquiring single family houses. Did quite a bit better this year that we just finished out in 2023. I added just about double my portfolio size. So I will share those numbers in another video. But anyways, hope this helps. Hope you got some value out of this video. And if you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.